Broadway debut was in Soul Doctor, where she played Nina Simone. She was in Shuffle Along alongside Brian Stokes Mitchell, Billy Porter, Adrienne Warren, Audra McDonald. Literally everybody was in that show. And most recently, she has been Tony nominated for her delicious work in Lempicka. Y'all, she's the co-founder of the Broadway Advocacy Coalition and the co-founder of Black Women on Broadway Awards alongside Jocelyn Bio and Danielle Brooks. She is a presence, a talent, a whole-ass vibe, and a star. And yes, we all know who Amber Iman is, but I believe that one day Amber Iman will be a household name. Please help me welcome the one, the only, Amber Iman. How are you today? Thank you so much for being here. I know you're busy.
Girl,
aren't you supposed to be in rehearsal right now?
I should be. How you doing, girl?
First, before we dive into things, I want to know, did you find your glam squad or did the glam squad find you? Because the looks are looking.
You know, I believe in building together. And I've had the same stylist and makeup artist since 2016. And back then, I definitely had like $3. And I was like, look, I'm gonna have money one day. That day is not today. But
Not $3.
if you ride with me, I promise we're gonna get there together. And so when Lempicka was on the map, I was like, okay, y'all, this is our moment. Like, we ride it on. And that's, yeah, I've had the exact same team for, I guess that's 8 years now. So no, I sought them out. I just needed, I'm a Black woman and I always need my team to be Black as hell. And so I sought out people who understood my vision and were gonna push me and challenge me, but also like love on me, because you spend a lot of time with your glam. Like, it's a lot of hours, and I needed good vibes and good energy and people who just are like my friends outside of when we are doing hair and makeup. So no, I found them, but I feel like also they found me.
Okay, we love to hear it. And Amber, we've watched we've all watched it online, on TV, on your Instagram. It's been all over the internet. The whirlwind that you have been through, and I get chills just thinking about it. It's not even my life. You made such an iconic debut in Lempicka, and it was truly like, when I came and saw you, I could not take my eyes off of you. I'm like, wait a minute, am I a lesbian?
You might be. It's okay.
I don't know what is going on.
Right.
I need to talk to Andrew. Can she be our third?
I've changed a lot of lives. Sis.
Baby!
Yeah.
I didn't know what was happening to me. You really were amazing, and you sounded so yummy. Like, even if I couldn't see you, if I just listened to it and I didn't see you, I would still feel like, I don't even know what this is. So to make such a splash like that alongside Eden Espinosa, who I also love, and then to get Tony nominated, how was your heart?
Today?
Yeah.
Girl, I don't know. It's like you remember you told me like, I'm gonna go like take a walk down the hall and like look where the vendors are. And I'm walking, I'm looking at something, and I hear the opening chorus, "A Woman Is," and I went, oh God. It felt like somebody punched me in the face. And like every corner I turn is like a poster of me, which is weird. It will never not be weird. But it's
wild.
like, I was telling somebody, we started rehearsals for Lempicka January 29th and we closed May 19th. Like people don't understand how quick that was. We did 41 shows and it is still sad. There's still grief. We're in this weird in between. Even though like with the Tony season is like the end of the season, but like it's still a part of our like energy and vibration. So there are good days, there are days where I just don't get it. There are days where I'm just so confused, just like my bank account is so confused. Because this is not what I was supposed to look like in July. You know, I had dreams and goals for that money, I had plans. So it was a beautiful blessing, but it's also just, some days it's just really kind of sad to work on something for 6 years. To truly
6 years?
6 years. I joined after I saw it in Williamstown. That was 2018. December of 18th was my first workshop with Lempicka. And people don't understand, like, developing a musical is hard and arduous and like so many hours, so much blood, sweat, and tears to build something
Sometimes
like that.
literally blood.
No, it's literal blood, sweat, and tears.
And
to have it just like the rug pulled out from under you in 4 weeks is just, it's hard. So yeah, it's up and down.
So the show that I was in was also in the same season, which I don't know if we remember.
I do.
Because it was so much earlier in the season, and I remember like kind of complaining to my own friends, like, man, we were open for 3 months and we closed and nowhere near the Tonys. Like, wow, woe is me. But to watch your journey in Lempicka, like you guys were so close to the Tony Awards, and to close right before, it doesn't feel fair.
Girl, it's not fair. It doesn't make sense. It's chaos, shenanigans, and tomfoolery. All of the above.
Before the tomfoolery, can we take it back to your debut when you guys opened on Broadway before the Tony nomination? How were you feeling?
Tired. Like, people don't understand the schedule. You go from rehearsal straight into tech, straight into previews, and then you open. Like, there's no break. I have such a newfound respect for cast albums. This was my first cast album. We record the cast album the Monday after we open. No,
What?
Yeah, you don't understand. Like, we don't, so what that also means is we don't get a day off.
You don't get to party.
You can't drink too hard, you can't dance too hard, because you have to get up Monday and then
have
record
to go home.
the whole album. Just the amount of time and what is required from you in that time is bananas. So you're doing your best to fight exhaustion, allergies, especially spring shows. You're opening right when the trees and the pollen and everything is blossoming. You're trying to take care.
How did you do that? How did you keep your health and all of that?
You have to live like a monk. You have to work out very hard. You have to eat right. You have to drink all the water. You can't talk too much. You can't talk too loud. Like, you literally have to live for the show. We live for Lempicka. Everyone, the Notebook, The Wiz, you cannot really function as a regular human. It's just do the show, go home, and then prepare to do the show again.
But you also have a lot of extracurricular activities.
You also
Amber.
have press, and you also have, like, because once you know the 15 minutes is up, like, real quick. So you have to say, okay, what are all the things I can capitalize on while my name is in everybody's mouth? Wow. So you're some people are trying to record an album, some people are doing press things, some people are trying to audition for the movie or the TV show. It's insane what is asked of us. We aren't paid enough. We don't get enough.
The Olympics.
Anything.
Of theater.
Like, it really is insane. So before opening, like, there's an excitement, but there's also an exhaustion, and you are just trying not to let it manifest as like panic or anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about every morning you wake up and the biggest fear is like, before I do this siren, like, do I have a voice today? People don't understand how insanely scary those seconds are of like, because sometimes you do the siren and it's not there and you're like, okay,
What do I do?
I have a couple hours to figure out how I'm going to find a voice, create a voice, because there is no voice. And you don't want to call out because there's the added pressure. People don't understand, like, there's a certain amount of time when Tony voters come. You don't want to call out when Tony voters are there. So you're like freaking out, you're on prednisone, it's honestly is a different type of Olympics. It's a different type of hustle and struggle, but you do your best and you lean on each other. You know, Eden and I we had to just be each other's like tree and like ground and earth, because that pressure is nuts. No one prepares you for that pressure. There's no handbook, there's no chaperone. You just literally are figuring out as you go how to lead a musical on Broadway that's new, that you want to do well, and that you honestly, all you have control over is your performance. We have nothing to do with ticket sales. We have nothing to do with marketing. We have ideas. Sometimes people listen, sometimes people don't. But we're the ones who are most greatly affected. Producers can produce 3 shows at once. Marketing teams can market 3 or more shows. All our eggs have to be in this one basket. So it hits differently. Yeah. When you see like, oh, y'all are failing us, it hits differently. Because this will close and you have 7 other shows. We don't.
Oh my goodness.
So it's something that we should talk about more. I don't have solutions. I just have frustration and questions and a sad bank account, but it really is wild.
I want to commend you because Serena Williams says, isn't it her that said, pressure is a privilege, and you have been under immense pressure, and you just deliver every single time.
Thank you.
It really is. It's not easy, you guys. It's like when all eyes are on you, when the world is watching, like I don't fault Simone Biles at all 4 years ago. I'm like, yeah, I get that.
Take a break.
So, but you really do know how to meet the moment. And so that's why I'm like, it's inevitable that you will become a household name, because every time you're offered the opportunity, you never fall short.
I mean, you feel like you can't. You don't get that many opportunities. I'm a Black woman of a certain hue, of a certain size and stature, and there just aren't that many opportunities for women who look like me. So when I get the chance, I can't rest. I have to be the best that I can be as often as, it has to be consistent. You know, that pressure should not be there, but it is, you know, especially as Black women, we talk about when you're in a certain room, if you mess up, then they're like, oh yeah, we can't give the opportunity to Black girls because they all gonna fuck it up. But
we're like, Michelle
was
holding down the fort for
you know, and that shouldn't be a burden that we have to carry, but it just kind of naturally is. And it's like an unspoken language between us. We see each other, we know, that's why we keep each other lifted. That's why we support each other. That's why I say, girl, I'm in rehearsal, but I'm gonna ask them to give me an hour off so I can come and do the podcast because I see you and I see what you're building and how you're moving. But that's why it's important, because the numbers matter to people. You know what I'm saying? So we have to show up for each other. We have to keep building. We have to help each other build. I'm a very much we lift as we climb type of woman. So you're right. Every time you see me, I'm like, okay, let me call my therapist.
Oh my gosh.
Let me eat a salad. Let me drink some water and let me show up. Period. Let me show up.
Speaking of, so you have been uplifted yourself very many times, and you have a gift of lifting others up. You created Black Women, you've created a few things, but Black Women on Broadway is one of those things where you uplift other people. And between that and the Broadway Advocacy Coalition, can you talk to me a little bit about your advocacy work and why?
I saw a tweet a long time ago that said, most Black women don't sign up to be activists. We just get tired of no one speaking up for us. And that's honestly why BAC and BWOB were born. I, like you, probably watched the Essence Black Women in Hollywood Awards for like 15 years and being like, oh my God, I know they're gonna do a Broadway version. Like, I know they're gonna come over here. And nobody did. And I was like, crap. That means I'm gonna have to do it. Like, let me call my girls, because people don't celebrate Broadway until we transition into TV and film. It's disgusting. They don't value us. And I get it. You have to get on a plane, you have to fly to New York. We are a very specific niche. We're in a concentrated area. But that does not mean we don't work hard. And it doesn't mean that we don't deserve to be celebrated. And I hate the idea of—
artist.
Girl.
It is like 8 times a week, in person, live
for
in color.
Literally.
You have to be healthy.
Exactly.
There is no, wait, can we take that again? No, you forgot the line, you gotta move on.
And we don't get enough love, we don't get enough celebration, we don't get enough perks, we don't get enough swag bags. And I was like, not everyone's dream is to— is there anything in it though? What's in it? Where the cosmetics? Thank you. At least a bracelet, Jesus, the most beautiful. But you know what I mean? Like, and I hate for women, anyone, to think that I have to transition away from the thing that I love to be able to feel like I have worth or that I matter. So it's like, how can we celebrate Black women where they are? And it was a huge labor of love. You know, Danielle Brooks and Jocelyn Beal are my sisters, and I love them because they listen to me and allow me to dream and push them and challenge them, and then we push and challenge each other. And that's where Black Women of Broadway came from. Just 3 women who are like, how can we make more space? How can we take up space? How can we build the tables, the chairs, the house, the hotel, all of it.
The table, the chairs, the house.
Because you have to. And the same with BAC. You know, we were doing Shuffle Along, and I can't tell you what Black men had been shot because they were so many. And a foolish Facebook post, because sometimes I say foolish things, but I was like, there's Broadway for Trader Joe's, there's Broadway for Britney Spears, there's Broadway for the mosquito bite on my left thigh. Where is Broadway for Black Lives Matter? Because y'all get on my nerves. Y'all love to go to 54 Below and sing, but like, what else are we doing?
Wow.
There's gotta be more. There's gotta be education, there's gotta be advocacy, there's gotta be us like learning, there's gotta be us growing, building, showing up for each other. So again, I was like, dang, I'm gonna have to do it. But I'm blessed that I've been in this industry long enough that people listen when I talk, that I have a reputation of showing up and doing more than I talk. Like, a lot of people talk in New York City, but not as many people do. And I knew that Jocelyn Bio and Danielle Brooks and Adrienne Warren and Britton Smith and just so many people around me were doers and shit starters and change makers, that I just was like, okay, I have this gift of bringing people together. And when I bring people together, they do some really phenomenal things. So let me stay in my lane, which is getting people in the room and then sitting back and be like, okay, what do we want to do? And so I've been blessed to build two amazing, one Tony Award winning organization. You know, BAC was the first organization to win a special Tony Award. That's not what we were thinking about when we started this in 2016. We were just trying to get people to stop killing us, you know, literally. And Black Women on Broadway, I just was like, how can we just love on Black women, because Black women need more love. And here I am all these years later, and both organizations are still growing very strongly.
Like, Broadway aside, like, even if you weren't such an impactful performer, the advocacy work, people know who you are, and like you said, listen to you. So my question for you, my next question is the growth journey, pre-pandemic to Amber Iman today. How have you personally grown?
I have a strong therapist. She's very strong. No, seriously, because I think a lot of us pour from empty cups, you know, because that's what we know to do. You just have to keep pushing, you have to keep going, and that you can't sustain. And I'm always tired, but back then I was really always tired, and I was like, I'm not centering wellness. I'm not taking care of myself. And I think making sure that you are okay, you the human, not the artist, not the performer, but like Amber the person, am I okay? Because I can't do any of these other things. I can't sing anybody's songs, I can't say anybody's words, I can't do nobody's 8 counts if I'm not well.
Wow.
So I think the growth has come from just like taking care of me outside of Broadway, outside of theater, outside of New York City. It's just like, what do I need to be my best self? And being intentional about getting those things. And that has been the biggest change since 2020, is just being intentional about getting what I need and saying, no, girl, I can't do that today. I gotta stay home. What are you doing? I'm sitting on my couch. That's a full-time job.
I mean, honestly,
Yes.
why is it really is so hard to say no. And
It's
also,
not for me, girl. I'd be like, no. And that comes with wisdom, age, and time, because when I was young, I had to say yes to everything because nobody knows me, and I have to get every job. And a lot of jobs are terrible.
But they don't say that.
And you don't know that until you keep saying yes and be like, why the hell did I say yes to this terrible job? So over time, I've just know I don't have to be everywhere, and I don't have to do everything. You know, a show, they'll announce a show is coming. I'm like, oh, that's cute. Somebody's gonna have a great time doing that show. I don't need to be in that show. I need to be focusing on me and what I need. That's age and wisdom. That's when you're in your 20s. The 20s is for bopping and shopping. You gotta be outside. But when you step into your 30s and you just get a little bit older and you just kind of understand how the world works, I don't need to be everywhere. Because rejection a lot of times is protection. JJ was talking about that. Like sometimes, let me tell you this, never has this failed me. The jobs that I don't get that I thought I really wanted, they close early, everybody hated each other. Like I promise you, you won't understand it now. But when you look back in 5 years, you're like, oh, I couldn't have been there because that would have broken me down. That would have torn up my spirit. I wouldn't have met my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my person friend. Like all of those, you're not gonna get it right now, but I promise you, in 5 years, turn back, look around and be like, oh yeah, everything happened exactly as it was supposed to.
We have a few more minutes before I bring JJ back up, but I want to ask you something that might be a 20-minute answer. and that is, how do you think the Broadway community is doing in terms of diversity and inclusion? Sorry, Amber. I know.
Girl, you don't don't want me to ever have another job. You answering these questions. Girl, they doing their performative work. You know, all the diversity is on the stage. It's a top-down effect. Who owns all the Broadway houses? Anybody who look like me and you? Okay. Producers, casting, marketing, like that's where we need the diversity. That's where the diversity does not exist. So how are we doing? 2 out of 10 stars, 1.5. It's gonna take time. Like, do I think I'm going to see a Broadway house owned by people of color before I die? No. It takes time. That's a long game, but that is my dream.
Until you wake up and you're like, oh, it's gotta be me.
Girl, that means I gotta marry 3 millionaires tomorrow, okay? It's giving polyamory, okay? But like, I mean, are we taking small steps? Sure, and small steps matter because they will eventually add up to big steps. But I'm tired of y'all only putting the blacks and the browns on the stage.
Wow.
We need to be backstage. We need to be in the pit. We need to be in lights and sets. We need to be in front of house. We need to be marketing. We need to be PR. We need agents. We need casting directors. That's where it really, that's where the green lighting happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all love to throw one black in a creative team and be like, oh girl, we did it. And I'm tired because that's not what we actually
The fact
need.
that I'm like, I saw Shelley Williams in the other room earlier today. That's one person.
And the fact that you could single her out. Like that's what we're, and listen, I love BroadwayCon, but a little bit more. Come on, you don't have to clap because it's the truth. But like, I want to see who's on the planning committee because I was like, we should have a lot more sprinkles than we have BroadwayCon. But it takes us having these conversations and not being afraid to say, this is not like a calling out or a calling in, it's just the truth. And how can we help? Because I'm right here, Salisha's right here. We plan events. We know all the blacks and the brown people. We can get them in the room, but we have to be open to having these conversations that just lead to growth and everybody being better. That's all it is.
Amber Iman, I love you. Amber Iman, everybody.
I love you too, sis.
Questions for Amber or JJ?
Okay. It's a cute little
What's
Sure.
that?
When you have like new opportunities and you're not necessarily auditioning and you're approached by people, artists that are creating new work, how do you like to be approached? And also, what is the favorite way you've been approached in your career?
I just like when people are honest and direct. You know, you're putting yourself out there, and people are either going to say yes or people are going to say no. And I just like when people are like, look, this is what I'm doing. This is the time frame. This is the money. I like when people do that. Please don't make me ask if there's money. That's the thing, is people like to hide that part. Just say it all out. I only got $30. I'm doing a 7-hour workshop. You're gonna have to sing 15 songs. I'm gonna say, oh my God, thank you so much for asking me. I'm unavailable for that, but thank you. Because that's all we need to know is what it is. Email, DM, text, whatever you have. There's no favorite way. The favorite way is when just people are honest. Just let me know what I'm getting myself into. Because a lot of times people will be surprised that, oh, I'm surprised you said yes. And it's like, well, you asked directly and my calendar was open and I like working on new things with new people. So I think if you aren't afraid to put yourself out there and be honest, I think you'll get a lot more yeses than you think you will. JJ?
Oh yeah, same. I think like obviously sending a cute little email, sending material so you can. I think that's a big factor too. Is just like what is if you can see what the quality of the work is, because sometimes with new works you're taking a risk. And you were kind of talking about sometimes you do a project and you're like, wow, that was wild that I was a part of that. Or you see it happen and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I wasn't a part of it. So, so yeah.
Not
just
that dumpster fire.
Right. So, but like everything's got to start somewhere. And I believe in the growth of artistic work because, I listened recently to some of the demos for Back to the Future. They actually released them on Spotify. And if you listen to those, you're like, wow, I believe in artistic growth. I do. This started here.
It's giving growth.
It's giving growth. Biff had a I Want song that I was like, whoa, that's so, okay, yeah. That's, how really different that is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any other questions? In the back.
Amber, this is for you.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen I'm a Priceless Soul Doctor and Soul
Bless you.
And told you? Soul chose the drug.
You did.
They were on opposite spectrum. Soul Doctor basically tried everything they could to keep the show open versus Tika them just immediately saying, "You didn't get to nominate you were very close." What was that like in those two shows that were struggling, but opposite ends of the spectrum where the show tried to stay up to the other?
Actually, it was the same story. Limpika was exactly the same way. It didn't necessarily look like it from the outside, but that's exactly what it was. They were gracious enough to have a sit down with us, Matt and Carson, and actually explain the numbers of it. And they expected our numbers to be here, and our numbers were actually here. And so our producers actually kept us open way longer than they thought they were going to have to. They honestly probably could have closed us a month earlier, to be honest, based on our numbers. Our ticket sales were just a little too low. They wanted to make it affordable, but we kind of needed to option up. We needed to do a couple other things. So honestly, it felt exactly like Soul Doctor, to be completely honest. I remember sitting on the stage when we got our closing notice being like, this feels exactly the same. Producers fighting, maybe they didn't have enough money to begin with. Maybe, who knows? But it felt eerily similar. And then Shuffle Along was in the middle of it, which was kind of different but the same. We never dropped under 96%, but then Audra got pregnant and people got crazy. And it was another let's just close it. So all three of my, I'm starting to think it's me. It's me. Hi. I'm like, damn. But it feels, I was thinking a show I'm about to start working on. And it's sad that those three have kind of jaded me a little bit. I'm nervous to work on a new show because I'm God, how can, I've gotten it wrong 3 times. And not me, but I'm how can I help?
It does feel personal.
It feels very personal. So it's a little scary, and I'm a little bit shy now because the world sucks. That's it.
Next question, right here.
Yeah, so this is for Amber. Sorry, JJ.
It's okay. We love JJ.
Yeah.
I need the next 3 questions to be for JJ. To go.
So earlier you mentioned trying to have more representation at the top, as far as casting, all of that stuff. How can we, as upcoming, well, let me just say, people who do regional theater, community theater, people who are in different areas of the world, how can we help you?
That is a good question that I might not have an answer for right now. I think half of it is to keep doing the thing. I think second is right now, you let me know who you are. I let you know who I am. We exchange information, and then offline, how can we do this thing? And I think it is sometimes us doing it on a smaller scale. I think Broadway is the pedestal, the thing. And I think half of that is the problem. Because a lot of shows would thrive off Broadway. A lot of shows could run for 25 years at New World stages instead of 3 weeks on Broadway. So I think it's changing our mindset and saying, yes, Broadway is a goal and a dream, but maybe not for this particular show. How about we take this to Greensboro, South Carolina, and oh my God, we could change the world in this tiny town. So I think connect with me before I run out that door. But I think it's looking left and right instead of always looking up. A lot of the people that you need to be successful are probably in this building today or in your community back home. And so I think it's working together and not always thinking, that's what I thought when you asked me that. Sometimes you think, oh, I need to work on this new musical and I need Tony winner so-and-so. And it's you have incredibly talented friends in your circle.
Wow, that's
so
real.
Sometimes it's connecting right here instead of there. That makes sense?
Anybody we might have questions
For JJ.
For JJ.
No.
You in
Please.
the back.
Mine
You don't
doesn't
need
work
it.
anymore.
Yes, you.
Hi, so we're big fans of Back to the Future. And
Okay.
we saw last week, and it's a basic question, but we were wondering what's your favorite number?
Oh, favorite.
What's your favorite number, JJ?
That's a good question for JJ.
Oh yeah. I think to do as Marty and George is put your mind to it because okay, here's the thing with Back to the Future. It is so silly and stupid and dumb. We love it.
Wait a minute, JJ.
I actually love being in silly show. I mean look at what I have done in my career. I like to do really light stuff, and that show is fluff, joy, but there's so much heart, and the beauty of the show is this son goes back in time and he's how can I literally help my dad be who he's meant to be and and help like make his life better, also selfishly so he can make his own life better. But like also like it's just so beautiful to see. That's the best number, one of the best numbers I think in the show that has an arc, like a beginning, middle, end of like you see the growth, you see their relationship developing, and you see these characters growing. And yeah, I just think it's beautiful, and it encapsulates the show as such like about family and like bringing family together. So yeah.
I like that.
Okay, we do actually have time for one more. You over there.
It's actually, this question is for JJ. I just was wondering what,
Oh my God.
I'm just wondering how you managed to play two roles without like getting overwhelmed. I know it can be fun and overwhelming at the same time, but how do you I'm just wondering like how you managed to play two roles
Right.
in that situation.
You have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Juan. Okay, so I definitely, they're so different, okay? And so you have to find like, oh, it sounds so silly, but it's like find the truth in it. I mean like, right. But truly like Marty, when I first learned how to play the role, I was like, who is this guy? Like, why does he change every freaking scene? It's like you're emo and then you're happy and then you're sad and then you're depressed and then you're in love and then, oh my gosh, and then, oh my God, Doc, it's like, who are you? Like, why are you, it felt so crazy. And so, but it's like he just lives so much in the moment. And so like finding like, no, he truly is reacting in real time to everything. Like that is who he is. He's just living in the moment. It is not a character flaw or a writing flaw. It's like, that's what it is. And with George, it's just like, he's the heart of the show, truly. And so finding my own version, because there's the movie that we're imitating, we're doing impressions, we're doing like caricatures, but they're not caricatures because it has to be real. If it's a caricature, then the audience doesn't care. So finding like the truth in it and the realism is important.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
JJ Neiman and Amber Iman, everybody! Can we ask Amber, how do we follow you, Amber?
At Amber Iman _ on Instagram. I'm not TikToking and
You're not
rip-rocking.
TikToking yet?
I'm
We'll
not
get you there.
I'm not
We'll get you there.
TikToking, but I'm on Instagram.
Thank you guys. Thank you for joining us today at BroadwayCon.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Salisha.
Yes.
Thank you.
Fartar.
Can we get a photo?
Here, you get in the middle, Salisha.
Yeah,
wait,
you
let
in the
me.
middle.